in your life?
This is just crazy, you guys.
Did you like that?
Oh my gosh, I loved it. And it's not bizarre to us, but I can feel both of your guys' energy through this whole thing.
And what
You
helps
guys-
is that we do know you. That's why I wanted Shelly here for sure, because she probably knows you better than she knows your thoughts from little, where she has so much more to draw on. Do you know what I mean? And
Well, your guys' mannerisms as you're talking, I'm just feeling like the weight leave my body. I just got so relaxed. It's absolutely crazy.
you got some great cards. And that death card, don't ever be scared of that death card.
Yeah, I'm not.
That's that person you do not want to be anymore, that you worked on very much not to be.
You guys have absolutely no idea how all of those hit the nail on the head, big time. All of them. Everything you said is exactly. So we moved here a year and a half. I mean, do you guys want me to tell you? I don't know what the next step is.
Yes. No, yeah.
Okay. So we moved here a year and a half ago, and we knew it was going to be a challenge. We knew we were going to have to jump through some hoops. Many things were going to be challenging with this, and me and Sky, being who we are, we're like, bring it on, we'll do it. So I knew there was going to be a transformation, but I spent the first year trying to be so busy and traveling, and on the months Sky was gone, not being here and going and visiting and working and doing all the stuff that I've done for years. In December, it hit me, and Shelly and I had some time together in December, and it hit me, and I said, when I come back to Pinedale over the winter and Sky's gone, I'm not going to travel. I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm going to give myself permission to put my business on hold for a little bit and not do as many events and things, because I need to be still. And I just knew I needed to come here and be alone and have the time to go deep. And I was getting very emotional as you guys were saying stuff, because I did a fasting while I was alone. I've done a bunch of internal deep work, and it has been, I don't want to say painful, but it's been painful. It's really just been so uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. And it's been that push-pull of go back to what you used to do to get you out of this uncomfortableness. And I forced myself not to. I've had to make Beam Board my best friend. I've had to befriend it. I've had some great coaches, and my friend that was here this weekend, and every conversation I have, and along with the conversation I'm having with you two today, is validating everything that I'm doing in this really awkward releasing. I'm in the cocoon, and I don't know what that looks like. I just know there's a big transformation going on right now, and I can feel it, and I am letting go of a ton of behaviors and actions and have tos and shoulds and bees that I've just done for so long. Survival mode. Even like, I've loved my jobs, and I've loved other things, and I've loved my business, but I told Sky, I said I spent a lot of time doing it out of fear of being a single mom. Even though I loved it, it was fear driven instead of passion driven. And so letting go of that, and letting go of some of the financials. So it started out in the very beginning that I'm like, okay, I don't have my job. I don't have my income. My husband's gone every other month. I've lost my house. I don't have my house. I don't have my community. My friends aren't here. Who am I without all of these labels and things that made me who I was? And that's kind of how it started. And then it's morphed into all of this stuff.
But it was so necessary. Remember when we talked about it? And I said, you're going to feel like you died a couple of times. It's really painful. But I held on to the pain, and I walked through it because I wanted to be done with it. I wanted to see a change, and I was determined to do it. But people are always trying to avoid it. And with it, when they talk about monsters, for me, I'm like, you embrace them, and you hold on to them until they don't scare you anymore. And that's conquering it.
Well, and it was 3 weeks of really questioning my worth and value.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Well, even more than 3 weeks. It was probably 4 or 5 weeks But I sat in it and knew that this is what I had to do. I had to figure out my worth and value without all of those things that filled me. And I'm still on the path. I'm still learning that it's not those things meeting my needs. It's me now. I'm in charge of meeting those needs. And what is that going to look like? And yeah, it's been a big 3 months of stuff. And I've had to go inward, and I've had to really release the distractions
Mhm.
that I would normally turn to avoid it.
You're doing so good, girl. You're doing so
Well, the
Thanks.
other thing is the death card is dead center. So your read is all about that transformation you were just talking about.
Yeah, because if you went in a circle with this, Hope,
Mhm.
look at that.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys ever met my friend Eugenia. She's an astrologist, a psychotherapist astrologist, and she uses astrology
Oh,
to
I'd
help.
love to meet her. I would love to meet her.
I'm going to do I was supposed to do a Facebook Live with her last week, but I had to postpone because of all the craziness with the house loan. So anyways, I'm going to do it with her. But for the last 6-7 months, she's been saying 2022 is going to bring about a lot of grief for people. Not necessarily, yes, death, but not death in the way that we think about death. Like
Everything we
the
went
death
through, we gotta
of
deal with it.
expectations, the death of, who we were, a life once lived, things like that. And every message that I've been getting, I heard that 6-7 months ago, and it's just been one after another, whether it's meditation, whether it's I'm talking with a coach or reading a book, that's repetitive, that death and letting go and grieving.
I'm so happy for you, Hope.
You have no idea listening to you guys. Like I said, it was just like, because again, I'm not doing the do, I'm doing the being. And that's very awkward for me. And my mindset, the swords in my back, of all the things that I'm telling myself is that I should be doing the doing, and having something like this just validated my time, my energy, what I'm doing. And it was just such a powerful support. I needed that so bad. You guys, you have no idea.
Good, because you know what? I have almost I'm doing the series, and we talked about it a little bit, and I renamed it. It is Strong Women in the Ties That Bind.
Mhm.
And what I've done 3 interviews, and I ask them, I know these women that has went through years of trauma, constant trauma, or really bad situations out of the ordinary life, and I know these women that has went through them.
Yeah.
And they come back to where we are right now, and they're really good people, just really good people. What are the ties that bind that these women possess? Because you're one of them, Hope, and so are you, Shelley. We'll go through some of the questions. But what are the ties that bind that these women possess that can make them go through so much? And I can tell you statistics on it. Normally, people don't end up, they could survive something,
Yeah.
but to go through something and end up right here. Look at Nolene.
Uh-huh.
And just a really good person.
Mm-hmm.
What are the ties that bind? What do you think, Hope?
Me, what are the ties that bind? It's interesting. And it's part of the reason that I write my books. I had 2 brothers. I didn't grow up with sisters. I had girlfriends. I wasn't an emotional girl person growing up. I didn't understand any of that because I had brothers that I listened to them. And then I was blessed with 2 biological daughters of my own, and then 2 stepdaughters. And through them and through my own experiences, I started learning about the heart of a woman and
The heart of a woman.
how
That's a good
alike we all are, and going through my own experiences. And it took me a long time to get to the point where I was vulnerable enough to talk about them. And when I did, and then started hearing other women's stories, even though our experiences or circumstances may be different, what goes on in our hearts and how that plays out in our interactions with people, with our fears and our needing to protect ourselves, but yet at the same time to be seen and to be loved and to be heard and to be valued. But at the same time, and build those connections, but at the same time, give it to ourselves. We all have that same heart and desire for that, no matter what we've been through. And that's where I see that tie that binds us
The heart of the woman.
together.
I
Yeah.
love that. That's a tie that binds. That's very
Yeah.
good. Before, you know, when we were talking, and I've been working on this project because I wrote, I'm going to read that really quick for you. I wrote about, remember that safe place at the retreat, what I wanted to create. And this is it. I want to create this atmosphere where women get together and they support each other. Something that when they're struggling, they actually have someone to help,
Mhm.
you know, and it's hard for strong women because where do strong women go?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
everyone's coming to us. Where do we go?
Mhm.
Let me see if I still have that.
And when you and I talked 2-3 weeks ago, you said that, and it is true. Especially on this healing journey, spiritual awakening journey, it can get very lonely. I don't know if you guys feel that. I feel it. It can get lonely because sometimes we're so busy helping others, we don't have always a safe place to land.
Or just someone to talk to about, you know, just something, support for women, you know. Let me see if I got this really quick. All right, one more question I do want to ask you, Hope, before I read this. What is your current dream right now?
Oh, I have so many.
Current dream right now for you, specifically, just for you.
For me, as I've been going through this and kind of it's been tons of internal reflection. It's isolating, and there's been a fear that this is where I'm going to stay.
Yeah.
And I love people and I love connections. And again, through it all, I'm realizing those swords in my back big time, what I do and the things that I say to myself and how hard I am on myself that I didn't realize I was being. And that's been my fear, is that I'm going to get so complacent being here that I'm not going to live my life to the fullest, and I'm not going to fulfill the purpose that's intended for me. And so I think that's my dream, is to do this work, but come out on the other side motivated and full of love and passion and purpose to fulfill that purpose. I don't want to get complacent, be like, oh, this is my life now. It's not very fun.
I love that dream. I love that dream. All right, I'm going to read about Tina's project. So I did this in 2020, and now it's just starting to come together right now. And it's I Have a Dream is a public speech that was delivered by American civil rights activist Martin Luther King Jr. during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom on August 28, 1963, in which he called for civil and economic rights and to end racism in the United States. I also have a dream about this project. I wanted to hear the voices of my sisters, their voices speaking truth to power, her stories and dreams and nightmares that she needs and must express. Because I do know in expressing herself is healing, especially in an environment where she feels unconditional acceptance and with other women that understand and have experienced the same thing too. It is so powerful and healing. I want all my sisters to find healing. And I know through art and voice, and by unleashing the most sacred part of being a woman, we can create a pathway for ourselves. I'm sorry, give me a second. That we can create a pathway for ourselves. I have a question. Where do strong women go when they are hurt and need someone to hold some space for them so they can heal and talk about her pain in her life, in her days, months, and years of crisis and trauma? I would like to create a space that we as family, friends pull from the best of ourselves, and that comes from the power of being a woman. Only women truly understand the fragile balance that she constantly must maintain, because these women are strong, intelligent, resilient, and a little pissed off.
I love that. Tina, I absolutely love that.
I
It's
have
just
been
beautiful.
working on that since, and now I have it in action, just getting all of this stuff together. This is like my 4th interview, and I did one yesterday. I did a tarot read. Did you watch that tarot read yet, Shelley?
From
It's in
yesterday,
the new one.
I watched a couple of them.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've watched the latest.
Nolene's was good, didn't you think?
Oh my gosh, Nolene is just so wonderful.
I heard you guys had a great time when they were in Alliance.
Yes, I was so thankful that they stopped, and out of them stopping, not only did I decide to embrace the tarot cards and get busy, but it also landed me a new friend,
Heidi?
Heidi.
Oh,
I
was
found
there
her
another
outside at the
person with
hotel.
you?
So yeah, there's a new girl moving into Alliance, and Tina wrangled her up for me.
Nice. What? She was staying at the hotel and you guys ran into her?
We were sitting outside smoking, and
Uh-huh.
she was sitting out there drinking a beer and smoking. And then we just started talking, and like 10 minutes later, she told us her whole life story,
Oh my
every
God.
detail. I was like crazy, yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
But she needs Shelley. I was a little worried about her being alone in Alliance as a single woman, just by herself, Yes, some stuff. Okay, Shelley, what for you are the ties that bind strong women? What is that tie?
Nolene and I were talking about this briefly, and we were tossing around the idea of empathy. And I think it ties back to what Hope was saying, the heart of a woman.
Mhm.
'Cause that's where, empathy is coming from.
Yeah.
Is your heart. And I think that's what keeps you good, because after trauma, people are going to do one of two things. Either they're going to be the aggressor, or they're going to understand what it feels like to be a victim and have more empathy for
and
the
not
situation.
be one, and not be an aggressor or the.
Correct.
That's so true.
Mhm.
You know what Nolene told me? She goes, Tina, she goes, I'm so glad we saw Shelley. She goes, I really want to figure out how she got from here
Yeah.
to here, where she is at right now. And I think the big thing is forgiveness, don't you, Shelley? And I said, I don't know. I go, you're going to have to just talk with her more and watch her. She goes, I don't know how she got to here. And she really, really wants that.
Yeah.
And I said, you just have to talk to her more, I guess. I don't know what's secret. I don't know how you got there either. So that would be a tie,
I think the one thing for Nolene, the simplest thing that I started, but by far has taken me the furthest, is at the beginning, every day, I'd write down 3 things I was grateful for.
Mhm.
And just that simplest of tasks really made it hard to be negative. Because in the morning, if you focus on what you're grateful for and you are focusing on your blessings, it makes it really hard to be negative. For me anyway, at a certain point, I did find self-love, forgiveness of myself. But it really was that simple. It can come in the simplest ways.
No, it's that simple and it's that hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, Yeah, she
Yeah.
got so much out of it. I enjoyed that trip more than anything. I'm gonna go up and see her again. Spend some time with her. It was one of the best she needed. That was
Well, go
women
in
supporting women.
July and I'll be in Alliance. And we
And
can
we can all go.
In July? In July?
I'll be, yeah, I'm going in July. I'll have my granddaughters with me for 4 days and then they'll go back to Greeley where they live. And then I'm going to go back to Alliance probably till the 2020. I don't know. I have to be back here the 29th. I know that.
Well, maybe we can do something like that. Yeah, because I want to go up and see her again. She's doing so much better, and I'm so glad I went.
We can
Sometimes
take on a
there's-
little adventure
Oh, it was fun.
or something.
We had, we called her. We had dinner with her. She brought over crystals and pizza. I drug in Heidi. We did tarot. It scared her. Isn't that fun? We did the
That's
little eye
great.
mask under our
Oh
eyes.
my gosh, you guys, that's great.
And without any voice, just really good friends that just can talk. That's where I found some healing in that. Did you, Shelley? I found so much
Sure.
healing.
Absolutely. I think anytime a group of women get together, good women.
Yeah.
So Heidi and I were talking about this. Like my past, I was scarred by some of my friendships with my girlfriends.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it was hard for me to find real solid friendships with women. And I was a little resistant maybe to being open to those friendships, but now it's, wow. I'm
Well,
always
I
so,
can tell you, making this series I'm working on, I have looked high and low for strong women in those ties. And the list is very short, so very short. And I am going to make the end video and write about it too, those ties that did bind us. Because it
Our
is
goal is to make that list longer.
Mhm.
Make it
longer.
longer.
Yeah, yeah. It's so interesting, the perspective, though. So, all right. I want to thank you, Hope, and I want to thank you, Shelley, for doing this. I am going to post some of this up. If you wanted me to send it to you, Hope, and you want to put some of it up on yours, that's cool. I'm going to do some editing, okay? But thank you, guys. I want to don't leave yet. I'm just going to stop recording. Thank you, guys. I'm going to stop recording now, and I want to talk, okay?